I have a pretty unusual background for someone who's been in consumer marketing for so long. My undergraduate was in chemical engineering. I did a master's in biomedical engineering, and then somehow found my way into consumer marketing leadership. Consumer insights is a very broad set of tools and techniques. If you really want to get rich understanding and gather unstructured data in terms of customer feedback about what's going on, qualitative is the way to go. Quantitative, similarly, is a really good way for understanding how much or how many from a customer standpoint and really gathering structured data. And then there's tons of techniques for how to gather that data, depending on the kind of question you're trying to answer. What consumer insights is really good at measuring is perception. And so from a quantitative consumer insights standpoint, it's really good to keep that in mind, right? In terms of how it can be helpful from a modeling, interpreting a model standpoint and focusing on what type of data you can gather. So when I say perceptions, I would say that consumer insights is really good at that space versus the behaviors that you guys are measuring and modeling against, right? And it is generally more upper funnel versus lower funnel. Purchase consideration, and then advocacy is one of the few lower funnel efforts that I think consumer insights is really much better at understanding. So you can get a sense for how much word of mouth is really impacting someone's decision making and where it came from and so forth. Okay, so when getting started from a consumer insight standpoint, what is the overall marketing or business objective and goal? And will that result be actionable? So having those discussions up front is really critical. And then a really important piece from a consumer insight standpoint too is who are you going to survey or reach out to in your research is going to dramatically shift and change your answer. So it's a really important decision to have a discussion with the team that becomes the next big step. You may want to make sure that you're asking questions among people who know of a particular competitor so they can compare their experience between your brand and their brand directly, right? To make sure you're going to get good quality out of the data you're collecting. So survey and question length is really important. Then there's reading level and word choice. Question order and flow is really important as well. And then answer choices and data quality. AI is changing the marketing landscape, but it's also changing the consumer research landscape in a really meaningful way. But AI is really blurring the lines between qualitative and quantitative, and it's making it easier actually to get at information that was really challenging to understand before. And so it requires a lot more investment. This is actually, I think, going to change things where people are much more willing just to have a quick conversation with a tool like this, give all the richness, and then move on. And so you can collect and analyze unstructured data at scale so you can explore and quantify at a fraction of the cost and time. And then turn that into a real pie chart of here are all the things that consumers brought up in terms of what was the most meaningful or relevant or the biggest issue, et cetera. And the thing that's really powerful for influencing the team is that I find that graphs and charts only take you so far. But rich quotes or audio recordings from an actual customer, when you play those for the marketing team, so you're appealing to them not just rationally, but also emotionally with the real customer voice to try and influence.